Hello everyone, Mike here, and I'm a little late on this. To be honest, I finished reading the Amazon Lily arc about 3 days ago. Uh, Initially, I was just so busy with work and such that I didn't have time to get in front of the camera and talk about it. Then I was going to do it yesterday and ended up pulling out the PS4 One Piece World Seeker game, and next thing I knew, it was 2 o'clock in the morning. So I went to bed, got up at about 7, went to church, and now I'm finally sitting down to talk about Amazon Lily. I'm glad it was a short arc because after 3 days, it's going to be hard to necessarily remember all of my thoughts on this one. One thing I will definitely say is everybody has their own style of humor. Some people like puns, some people don't. Some people like slapstick, some people don't. Personally, I am not a fan of toilet humor slash sex anatomy kind of jokes. So I wasn't really looking forward to going back over this arc again because I seem to remember it having quite a bit of that. Although, to be honest, it ended up not having as much as I remember. This is one of those moments where you tricked yourself into thinking that something is worse than it actually ended up being. And in the end, yeah, there was a little bit of the humor with the whole, the island of women, Luffy ends up naked, and there's a whole bunch of stuff there. It was not as bad as I remembered it being, so that made me a little happy. I do feel that the women came off kind of childish in this, and I know it is one of those things where they've never interacted with a man. The only thing they have to go on is what they've been told. But I still feel there's a point where they came off very childish. They're excited to learn about Luffy. They're asking all sorts of questions. Having a good time. Then he gets mad and yells, and immediately their point narrows at him. It came off. It's like a child who gets a new toy, and it's like, oh, new toy! So excited! This is awesome! Wait, it did something I didn't expect. This is how they act. They acted. It's like the second he raised his voice, immediately, oh, men are terrible. It's like I'm not a fan of that particular aspect. I think they came off a little childish there. I do remember how much I liked Marguerite or Margaret. I've seen different translations name her differently. The official Shonen Jump app had her as Marguerite, but this is also the same group that calls Zoro Zolo. Still at this point in the manga, so take that for what it's worth. But I like her character. She has a very cute design. And she is probably the least aggressive towards Luffy, which is probably part of the reason I liked her. Then there's Boa Hancock. I forgot actually how much I disliked her initially. And it's a good thing she comes off funnier as the series progresses because Oda did something here that I see a lot, and it's like Demon Slayer does it like all the time. You introduce a character, you show them to be horrible, just so unlikable, and in Hancock's case, she literally kicks a kitten. It's like, you are not meant to like this character. Then they introduce their tragic backstory so that you feel bad for them. The problem with Hancock's is, well, it definitely is a, horrible thing being, made into a slave, branded, and all that. Compared with some of the other backstories we've seen, hers is not as bad. And again, that's only in comparison. That is in no way saying, No, being a slave wasn't that bad. No, this is just in comparison. And I don't think her backstory did enough by itself to overrule the horrible things she was doing before that that made her unlikable. Like I said, fortunately, I remember that she actually ends up being a fun character, which helps because as this arc ends, she is not very likable at all. Like that, moving in towards Impel Down. Luffy's on his way to try to rescue Ace before he can be taken away to be executed. I do know how that's going to go. And another thing I really liked was that we ended the arc showing all the others and what they're doing during all this. Each of them ending up in a different place. I think the one I was happiest with is Zoro ending up with Perona, because I do like Perona as a character. She's a lot of fun. So I am glad we got to see her again. Sanji's little bit did not age well. I think one of the biggest problems with it is it very much goes into that untrue stereotype that homosexuals are I should rephrase that, because these characters aren't necessarily homosexuals. Because, you know, it's complex because they fit the kind of transvestite aspect, but at the same time, the way they're going after Sanji does kind of fit the homosexual aspect. But the point being, you know, they're sitting there aggressively trying to go after him, you know, even though he's clearly not interested. This pushes the stereotype of them just being sexual predators trying to go after all the people of the same gender as them, which is, of course, not true, and this does not help to, further that the progression from that stereotype. And there's going to be more of it because, you know, this is going to be leading to things for a little while here. But general, not a bad arc. Very short one, only 11 chapters. Next, we're going to be moving into, I believe Impel Down is next. I'm not sure offhand how many chapters are in this coming arc, but we'll see. Anyway, that's all I've got on this little One Piece recap. So, until next time.